Hello again, and welcome to part 3. Now, before we begin, I recommend grabbing some snacks. Hold on, I'm gonna finish mine. Yep, that's pretty good. Ooh, bit congested. Oh, that's better. Okay, let's get on with this. In our last video, we talked about the beginning to the Divine Comedy by Dante, and we got through a large chunk of Canto 3, and so now we're just going to continue on from line 43. Then I, but master, by what torment spurred are they driven on to vent such bitter breath? He answered, I will tell thee in a word. This jury huddle has no hope of death, yet its blind life trails on so low and crass that every other fate it envieth. No reputation in the world it has, mercy and doom hold it alike in scorn. Let us not speak of these, but look and pass. So here we find Dante questioning Virgil, what are these things that he's seeing before him? And Virgil replies that these spirits that are living these miserable lives are condemned to this life, and that there really is no point in wasting time with them. If we look closer in depth in line 46, Dante says that this jury huddle has no hope of death, and by his use of saying has no hope of death, it's saying that these spirits can't even hope for death because there is no opportunity for death to come to them. They live in an eternal state of limbo. And then it goes on to say 2 lines later that every other fate it envieth. These spirits hate their situation so much, they would rather be in the worst layer of hell rather than living this torment that they are in. And so if we go on a bit further to line 51, it says, let us not speak of these, but look and pass. There's some interesting diction here, as Virgil says, let us not speak of these, with these being the interesting diction. It goes back to the implication of these spirits being treated as animals, as mentioned in the last video, and that he's saying, I shouldn't be wasting my time with them. They are literally below the stature of those in hell. So that's that. Let's get into the end of the poem. So I beheld, and lo, an ensign. I just died tonight. No, not that ensign. A flag ensign, not a red shirt ensign. But anyways, let's finish this up. So I beheld, and lo, an ensign borne, whirling, that span and ran, as in disdain of any rest, and there the folk forlorn rushed after it in such endless train, it never would have entered my head. There were so many men whom death had slain, and when I'd noted here and there a shade of whose face I knew, I saw and recognized the coward spirit of the man who made the great refusal, and that proof sufficed. Here was the rabble, here without a doubt, whom God and whom his enemies despised. This scum, who'd never live, now fled about, naked and goaded, for a swarm of fierce hornets and wasps stung all the wretched rout, until their cheeks ran with blood, whose slubbered smears mingled with brine around their footsteps fell, where the loathly worms licked up their blood and tears. So, let's dig into this, as usual. So, if we look, an ensign, it's a flag, not a red shirt. Whew. Want to make sure everyone was on the same page with that one. Alright. And then if we look from lines 55 to 58, it's talking about how there's this flag, it's flying around hell, or around the suburbs of hell, and all these spirits were chasing after it, and the flag is symbolism for a fate that they wished for, that they would at least be condemned to some sort of final rest. And if we just look at the last 3 words of line 57, there were so many men whom death had slain. This is largely a lot of personification. As we all know, death is more of a verb rather than a person. And so that's that for the ensign. And if we look down to line 60, the coward spirit of the man who made the great refusal. This is actually, scholars aren't sure who this refers to, but they are fairly certain that that Dante is referring to Pope Celestine V, who gave up the papacy after 5 months, resulting in Pope Boniface VIII being chosen, and I think we all know how that turned out for Dante. And so as we get to the end of the poem here, we're shown a brutal image of these spirits that cannot rest, being tortured for all of eternity by hornets and wasps, getting eaten alive, and it's just really ugly for them in general. Kind of sucks. But I think we can agree that even the dead men of Dunharrow from Lord of the Rings are still better off than these spirits.
You have my word! Fight, and I will release you from this living dead! What say you?
So I want to thank you all for watching this. It's been a pleasure to do this. It was a great assignment. Thanks to my teacher for giving me the opportunity to be able to do this assignment. I give a shout out to the list of references up top, as it gave me the information to be able to do this project. Thanks for watching.